My name is Fred. I'm from Vade Secure. And today I will present you the use case that we have and how we use OpenIO inside our solution. Just a summary, I will give a brief presentation of who is Vade Secure and what are the benefits of having OpenIO inside our solution. So first of all, who knows Vade Secure here? Apart from the OpenIO guys? Okay. So let me introduce, well, myself. I'm solution architect inside the pre-sales team. So at Vade Secure, what we do is we are an email security company that is primarily used to be focused on the ISP market. So this is why we actually protect more than 500 million users, active users around the world. So all the offices are spread across the world. So we have offices in Japan, here in Europe. So we are located in Paris. We are located in Lille, well, M, in the same offices as OpenIO, just like this. And then we also have offices in San Francisco and Vancouver and Montreal. So this is for a technical team to ensure that we have a follow-the-sun support for the filter and also for the different type of deployment. So here are some customers that we, some of our customers, so you will, I'm pretty sure you know some of them. So here in France we have Orange, SFR, La Poste, and others. So it's more ISPs, but we also have hosters, so OVH, Gandhi, and others. We also have British Telecom in the UK. We also have Freemail, which is a Polish company, OMPL as well, Telenet in Belgium, Fujitsu in Japan, and so on. So we have a footprint across the world. So this is from the ISPs. So inside the ISPs, most of it's the filter which is integrated inside. But we also have partnership with technological partners such as Microsoft, who is actually using our phishing feed to protect against the phishing. OpenExchange directly for the OpenExchange as a service solution, and other integrations such as Cisco to detect the gray mail. But we are almost the only player on the market to address the three different type of markets, so the ISP, the OEM, and the corporate market. So, and this is where it will be interesting for after the presentation. So our footprint is mostly French company because we started in France and we are expanding outside in Europe, but also in the US. Because we have now a dedicated company, a dedicated team in the US. So what do we offer right now? So we at Vade Secure, we are a software provider. We provide an email filtering solution. So first of all, this is the filtering, which is here, which will say that's a spam, that's a ham, that's a phishing, okay? After that, we've developed a solution to detect the phishing. So the solution will connect through to the link, analyze the behavior of the link, and also analyze the behavior of the web page and give a verdict to see if it's a phishing or not. And then the last, we have an API to the unsubscription. So once you receive a gray mail, we are going to do the unsubscription process on behalf of the end user. Just presenting you the core technology. So each part can be integrated into the ISP, into the OEM, and also separated into the corporate market. So with that, we are able to detect the malware, phishing, spam, spear phishing, and also the different type of gray mail. So this is what we do. This is our core technology, and then they are actually bundled into several solutions. So the first one will be the Vade Secure Gateway, which is an on-premise solution that you can directly deploy inside your data centers. The Vade Secure SDK, which is a custom implementation, so part of our technology inside the MTA, inside the webmail, and so on. The brand new Vade Secure for Office 365, which is API-based. It's a specific solution to answer some specific needs. And then the one I will talk about today, which is Vade Secure Cloud. It's a solution. So what is Vade Secure Cloud? It's a cloud MX gateway. You can see it as a gateway that you only redirect the mail exchanger. So you make a modification inside your DNS. We are going to clean up the email and then deliver it to the email solution. So it has been created in 2012. And it was based and still based on some part of open source technology, but also on stuff that is ours. We have several features inside, which are a web user interface, but also admin interface. We have the unsubscription process that I was talking about, some statistic, and specifically a user quarantine. And this is where we get the OpenIO implementation. So we, at some point during the company was growing back in 2012, and we had a problem. We were growing too fast, I would say. So the platform needed to be changed. We had some scalability issues, well, related to the fact that we were growing too fast, and also we had a complex design that was decided back in 6 years ago. So we had some problem with some maintenance, and it was no cloud compliant. So what I mean by that is, if we wanted to move out from our infrastructure and go to Amazon, to go to Azure, it was pretty complicated. So, 2 years ago, we decided to make a huge rework of our solution. So it was a huge backend process, and we hired a new CTO, and his slogan was everything as an API. So that's a good. That's why we moved to everything as an API, and we wanted also to have to move to a microservice type solution, and everything using containers. And so this was for give some flexibility and simplify the entire architecture. So the first step to do that was the quarantine. So the quarantine, what is it as an end user perspective? This is what you see on the right, well, on the left. It's a web user interface where the end user connect and can interact with the email who are in the quarantine. So you can release the email, read the email, which is usually spam or advertisement. So what happened before? We had a complex process because the Vade Secure Cloud is several services who are combined together, and the old design was pretty complex. So we had, when the email was passing through the MTA, and we were saying this email has to go to the quarantine, we were putting it into a specific folder, into an NFS. Then a daemon was watching this specific folder and see if there was something to index. So at some point, he has to index something. Once it's in, so he was actually injecting the index, calling the index to read the email. And then once the email was indexed, he was moving it to a specific folder. So it was pretty complicated and not really reliable, because sometimes the daemon was actually dead. So in that case, you don't have the index, and so the end user can't see the new email. So this was before, and this is why we've been moving to OpenIO. So the fact that we were we wanted to have this software-defined solution, so everything as an API, everything as a software. The OpenIO solution was a good fit. We also had a huge problem. I don't know how many people handle email here in the room, but email is pretty complicated. It's not a matter of having huge files. It's really having a lot of files which are very small. So it's very specific, and other software providers, well, storage software providers are not able to provide a lot of read-write inside the software. So yeah, we were struggling with the NFS, so that's why also we were seeking another solution. And as I mentioned, everything as an API, so we wanted to use API everywhere, so that's why also we wanted to go to a solution that handled the API. Replication, of course, and this is where the cherry of the cake, I would say, is the Notify API, that is the notification API, which is included on the core technology of OpenIO. And I will explain how it works. So we've been implemented, and we've made a specific integration of our MTA, who is actually using the native API of OpenIO. So once the email is received by the front-end MTA, we decide this is a quarantine, so it's sent and forward to a back-end MTA that will be dedicated to store the email inside the quarantine. So the MTA will connect directly to the object storage using the native API. So the email is stored, and what will happen in that case, the storage on himself will send a notification to the global API of the Vade Secure Cloud that will make a call to the index to connect and make the indexation. Okay? So in that case, it's way much easier because it's simpler, it's a streamless process, and we have a wider reliability because it's handled directly by the storage. So just some figures on where we are now. So we've made a huge rebuild of the entire cloud solution. So we have more or less 10 million email, which is 10 million objects inside OpenIO. So the email are not stored and kept because it's quarantine. So it's 10 million across 15 days. So huge input and output. So we do get and also a lot of delete. Then we only have 1.7 terabyte, which is small. If I just take the example of Dailymotion, which is super huge, we are pretty small. But what we have is a lot of objects inside, which is very, very small. And it's across 3 replicas, and we have more or less 500 million quarantines. So it's specifically quarantines. It's not mailboxes. It's quarantines stored inside OpenIO. And that's it. So I'm open for question now.